많아서 영광입니다. 이번이 한국 첫 방문이신데요. 저 소감부터 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
It's a huge honor to be interviewing you, sir. This is your first visit to Korea with your film. How does it feel?
It's a great honor to be in Korea. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. Yeah, we actually had a little time to wander around the city a bit yesterday and see a little of Seoul, and yeah, it's really a remarkable place, and I hope to be able to come back here.
네, 두 번째 질문 드리겠습니다. 그리스 로마 신화 오디세이를 메인 테마로 작업하시게 된 그 계기가 궁금합니다.
My second question is, what led you to decide that the Odyssey is going to be your next story to tell?
Coming out of Oppenheimer, which was a film that succeeded, I mean, really more than any of us had dared hoped, that gives you an opportunity to make a film that you might not otherwise get to make. And the Odyssey is this great foundational work of Western literature. And Greek mythology is a world that I think a lot of people are interested and inspired by, but hadn't really been addressed in modern cinema. And so to me, that presents a very exciting opportunity as a filmmaker to do something that I haven't done before, and hopefully bring something to the audience that they haven't seen before.
네, 세 번째 질문입니다. 오펜하이머 이후에 국기적으로 큰 주목을 받으셨습니다. 그래서 이번 작품을 준비하면서 가장 신경 쓴 부분이나 가장 어려웠던 점이 있다면 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
And speaking of Oppenheimer, the entire world has been eagerly waiting for your next film. What were some of the biggest challenges, and what was of utmost importance to you as you were preparing for the Odyssey?
When you take on something like the Odyssey, there's a set of expectations because people are familiar with the story. They may not be familiar with the detail of it, but they know of it and they know certain things about it. And you have to make the film for people who've never read it and don't know anything about it, and you have to make the film for people who know it very well. And so really a lot of it was about figuring out how to address the scale of the story, how to embrace the fantastical elements of the story, things like the Cyclops, the Sirens, and things like that. And how to treat the gods. There are many, many challenges to bringing something like this to the screen in a way that hopefully people can relate to, that could fulfill what people would want out of a film of this great piece of literature, but also be surprising in some ways. Those were really the challenges that I had in mind before we started.
하나의 체험에 가까운 수준의 영화를 만들어내셨는데요. 특히 한국 관객분들이 더 집중해줬으면 하는 장면이나 영화 속 요소가 있는지 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
I think that you've really created a film that almost feels like a physical experience. Is there anything in particular you would like for the Korean audiences to particularly look forward to, whether it's a scene or any kind of element in the story?
I'm very hopeful that Korean audiences coming to the cinema to see the film will have a sense of immersion, have a sense of being on this adventure for real. As you say, almost a physical experience. You want them to feel that they're on the deck of the ship with Odysseus, or they're going into the cave of the Cyclops with him. I really want audiences to have that sort of roller coaster ride of a narrative, because it's really the sense of adventure of the story that drew me to it. So I'm very much hoping to give the audience that ride.
네, 이어지는 질문을 영화 전체를 IMAX 필름 카메라로 촬영하셨는데요. 단지 형식적인 측면뿐 아니라 내용 면에서도 이걸 선택하신 이유가 있을 텐데 그 부분에 대해서도 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
And you shot the entire film in IMAX, and I feel like it just didn't have to do with the format, but I'm sure you were also driven to shoot everything in IMAX because of narrative-driven reasons as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about why you decided to do so?
Well, when you shoot with large format film, it's the closest to the way the eye sees. So there's very, very fine detail, excellent color reproduction. And so then when you put that on the big screen, whether it's an IMAX screen or whether it's any other kind of cinema screen, you get something that's very close for the audience to being there and seeing it the way they would with their own eyes. And so that's the tool I wanted to use for all the presentations of the film, wherever people are seeing it on whatever screens. It's been photographed with cameras on a film format that really allows things to look real and to look tactile and give you a sense of what things would smell like. You know, I mean, that's really the thing is you want to try and give the audience a film that's tonally recognizable and accessible and realistic.
영화 음악 관련해서 이제 고대 악기를 그 신디사이저로 이제 결합한 사운드를 쓴 걸로 알고 있는데 이렇게 작업하시게 된 계기와 사운드적으로 이번 작품에서 가장 신경 쓴 부분이 있다면 말씀 부탁드립니다.
I understand that you recreated ancient instruments and combined them with synthesizers for the score. What drew you to that approach, and what was the most important thing for you in terms of the sonic experience of the film?
When I was first talking to Ludwig Göransson, the composer on the film, about how we would address the music, I talked to him about the idea that because we were trying to make this earthy and accessible and grounded, not putting sort of classical history on a pedestal the way it is sometimes, or viewing it with, for example, elevated language and things. And so we have the actors speaking with contemporary accents and in contemporary ways. So I wanted the music to reflect that. I didn't want to use the classical tradition that underlies most film scoring, you know, the sort of Wagner, Rachmaninoff end of things. I wanted to similarly make things feel somehow more real, somehow more related to what's on screen. And so Ludwig started looking at Bronze Age instruments, like the aulos, this sort of double pipe, and he found somebody who could reproduce this instrument and play it. And the lyre, this string instrument that no one really knows how it was played, but he found a very strong lyre player who developed a way of playing it based on the imagery of the lyre that's preserved on ceramics, for example. He combined those things with his great expertise in synthesizers and sound design to create a score that I think is very fresh and almost indistinguishable at times from the sonic landscape of the film. It's very much a defining feature of how we feel about the world we're in, as well as being obviously the emotional, heart of the film. But I think what he did is really adventurous and remarkable.
이번 작품에서는 다양한 곳에서 실제 로케이션 촬영을 해주셨는데요. 가장 기억에 남는 혹은 또 가장 힘드셨던 로케이션 촬영지가 좀 어디였는지 기억에 남는 거 있으시면 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
You filmed in multiple locations in many different countries. Which location was the most memorable for you? Perhaps the most challenging? Any particularly unforgettable moments?
I mean, really, every place we shot was unique and interesting in some way. The film was certainly daunting, the scale was daunting, but one of the things I like about shooting a lot of different places is you're moving every couple of weeks. You're meeting new people, you have new crew coming in to work with the core crew, and so you're having a fresh set of challenges every day. I mean, some of the most remarkable things we did involved being on ancient boats out in real weather and real waves with the cast and the crew. Those were hard days, but very remarkable, and you knew you were getting really unique images.
네. 마지막으로 오디세우스의 긴 여정을 통해서 전 세계 관객들에게 던지고 싶은 단 하나의 질문이 있다면 무엇인지 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
This is my last question. If there is one question you want to ask the global audience or pose to the global audience through this epic journey of Odysseus, what would that be?
I think really that's tough to answer because I don't make films that are didactic and have a specific or easily expressible message. Otherwise I wouldn't need to make the film in a way. What I want people is to come with an open mind and looking for entertainment and a sense of adventure and just enjoy the story. And if there's more to it than that, if there are things that resonate with audiences after they leave the movie, then that's a great thing. But really, first and foremost, I just want people to want to have a good time at the movies and come and enjoy this great story.